I have a stupid name. It's Heathcliff. My parents named me that because they loved The Cosby Show and they have no imagination. Anyway, my friends call me Cliff and I never ever tell the honeys my real name. At least my looks made up for my ridiculous name. I don't mean to boast, but I could steal your girl. I didn't grow up poor, so this isn't a sad story about how a poor boy got to experience the rich people's life. In fact, I live in an upper middle class neighborhood and I go to a private school with lots of other rich kids. My dad works in the entertainment industry, so he has lots of celebrity friends. If you do, you will become rich within the next 5 years. Trust me, it really works. I was having the perfect teenage life, playing video games, sleeping all weekend, and going on dates with beautiful girls. I had a different one each week. They loved me. Then, one day, my dad decided that I was too comfortable. I don't know why parents are like that. They see us enjoying our lives, and then they do something to mess that all up. Heathcliff, I think it's about time you found a part-time job, he said one day. Dad, are you mad at me? I'm still a kid. Why the hell would I want to work? I answered. That's exactly why. You don't know how to work for anything. Everything has been handed to you in life. I don't want you to grow up into an entitled idiot. You have to learn how to work hard for the things you want. I'm taking your video games away until you earn enough money to pay for them, he said. What? What did I do to you? Mom! I screamed for my mom, hoping she would come to my rescue. I'm sorry, son, but your father and I already discussed this. You have to become more responsible, she said. How could she betray me like that? What kind of job would I do anyway? I was too young to drive, so I couldn't deliver pizza. I didn't want to work at a convenience store. I just wanted to stay home and sleep, to be honest. I hated my parents and figured I'd just try to live without my games for a while. I didn't bother looking for a job, and I just hoped that my dad wouldn't bring it up ever again. I interacted with them like normal and everything was going fine. Until one day I got home from school and everything was gone from my room. All I had left was a bed. What the? Mom, where is my stuff? I screamed. My mom came up to my room. You think we forgot that you're supposed to be looking for a job? Lazy boy, you'll get your stuff back when you're working, she said. This has got to be illegal. Why are you all doing this to me? I whined. I think your father might know of someone who's looking for somebody. Go to his office and ask him about it now. I think he'll be there until tonight, she replied and walked away. Damn, I thought. Could you drive me there? I asked. Fine, she said while rolling her eyes. When we got to my dad's workplace, I said goodbye to my mom and took the elevator to the 20th floor. I found my dad in his office and he was talking to a famous billionaire rapper whose real name I'm not allowed to mention in this video. So I'll just refer to him as Lil T. He was your typical stereotypical rapper. Big chains, a few gold teeth, and expensive clothes. And it wasn't just for show. He really was rich. He was a family guy too, and I knew that he loved his wife and kids dearly. I'd never met them though. He liked to keep his family life private, and I think not even the media knew about his kids. Hey, we were just talking about you, Lil T said. Me? Why? I asked. My twin daughters are looking for an assistant, and I heard you're looking for a job. They're both billionaires like me. Well, they'll have even more when I die, he replied, laughing. Dad, don't say that, I heard a voice say. Then, suddenly, the hottest girls I had ever seen in my life walked in. They had caramel brown skin, hypnotizing hazel eyes, and long brown curly hair. They were identical, double the goodness. Oh my God, I thought. Hi Cliff, I'm Melanie, and this is Maria, one of the twins said. Hi, I said shyly. My dad looked like he was going to burst out laughing any minute. The pay is $2,000 a week. Are you interested? Lil T winked. A whole $2,000? Sure, I'm in, I said. I felt like I was going to jump out of my shoes. Although my parents were rich, I'd never been so close to so much money ever. My allowance was only about $50 a month. Well, great, you can start today. I'll leave you to get acquainted with the girls, he said. He walked out of the office with my dad and left me standing there. We're so happy our dad agreed to this. We are tired of all the old people who work for us at home. We wanted someone closer to our own age to be our assistant. No one is into old butlers anymore, Melanie laughed. Okay, I replied. I was still shy and didn't know what to say or do. This was a completely ridiculous feeling because I was used to girls. I always knew the right things to say and do, but these two had me frozen. Well, don't you want to know what the job is about? Maria said. I just stood there. Let's go back to our house and we'll tell you all about it, Melanie said to break the silence. I followed them. We went to the parking lot where their driver was waiting for them. I opened the door for them because I'm a gentleman, and we all got in. We drove into the wealthiest neighborhood in our district and got out when we reached their house. It was massive, but that was no surprise to me. It looked like whatever a billionaire's house was supposed to look like. We walked to the front door and one of the workers opened it and let us in. Let's go to Melanie's room. Follow me, Maria said. I followed them up 3 floors. When we got to Melanie's room, she opened the door and asked me to come in. It was a complete mess. Well, I suppose you could start here. I'll need you to pick all my clothes off the floor and hang them in the closet. Then I'd like you to arrange my makeup. You need to make sure that you do this well because I don't want to mix up my concealer and my foundation. You might need to do some research about makeup, she said as she led me towards her walk-in closet. She had thousands of shoes, and they were all over the place. I usually wear a pair of shoes once because after I take them off, I just toss them here, and it's hard to find the other side when I need it. I'll need you to arrange these shoes, so you can start with these things. Melanie smiled. Usually, being given orders and this type of job in general would have made me feel insulted. But I already told you how gorgeous these girls were. I mean, I would have stayed and drank their bathwater if that's what they wanted me to do. Okay, I replied and tried to smile flirtatiously. The first week you'll be working for me, and the second week you'll be working for Maria. Do you have any questions? She asked. No, I said. Well, we're going to lounge in the pool so you can get straight to work, she said. They smiled and left the room. Oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? I asked while I looked around at the mess. Not even my room is this messy. I got to work. I developed a routine. I'd stay there on Saturdays and Sundays and on weekdays. I'd work for them after school. It took me the entire week to clean up everything in Melanie's room. The clothes were color coordinated, the shoes were arranged by height, and everything was perfect, spick and span. Then, when I came back the next day to marvel at my work, I walked in and everything was in a complete mess again. I nearly fainted. What the? I paused. What happened here? I cleaned it all up and now it's a garbage dump again, I gasped. I guess you're going to have to stay with me for 1 more week. You can go to Maria's room next week, Melanie replied. I could have sworn I saw a twinkle in her eyes as she said that. It was weird because that week, Melanie never left the room. She kept looking at me and it made me quite nervous. Sometimes she even helped me put her things away, making an effort to touch or brush me deliberately. When she had to change her clothes, she never asked me to leave the room, and it was really tempting for me to look. Well, I did peek a few times. What? I'm a teenage guy. Anyway, when it was finally Maria's week, she led me to her room. Actually, I don't really need you to do anything for me here, she said. I looked around and her room was perfect. Although the twins were identical, they had very different standards of cleanliness. So, what exactly do you want me to do then? I asked. Well, just spend time with me, I guess, she smiled. I blushed. Also, I write songs sometimes. When I leave school, I want to launch my music career. My dad already said he'd help me. Maybe you can help me write my songs and listen to me sing, she said. $2,000 a week just to listen to a gorgeous girl sing? Sure, I thought. That week was magical. I'd come over after school just to sit in Maria's room. We'd talk, she'd sing, and I'd give her feedback. Melanie would pop in once in a while, but most of the time she looked annoyed and left. When that week was over, I was confused. What was I supposed to do next? I got to their house on a Monday afternoon after school. I sat in the living room because the girls weren't in their rooms. Then I heard a loud bang and a crash coming from the kitchen. I ran towards the kitchen and peeped inside. Melanie was holding a butter knife and pointing it at her sister. You know it's my week, she said. But you got to keep him for 2 weeks last time, Maria replied. It doesn't matter. You're just trying to keep him all to yourself. He's going to choose me over you eventually anyway. He will be my boyfriend, Melanie screamed back at her sister. What? They like me in that way? I was sort of flattered. Instead of intervening, I left quietly and went home. I wasn't about to get sliced in anybody's kitchen. My dad was waiting in the living room when I got back. So, have you made your choice yet? He asked. What are you talking about? I replied. Which girl did you choose? He asked. What was going on? I was really confused. Lil T's girls have been crushing on you since the first time they saw you. Their dad only asked you to work for them so they could spend more time with you. He hoped you'd choose one. I hope so too, because then I won't have to worry about you anymore, he laughed. Suddenly, we heard a knock at the door. I opened it and the twins were standing right there. Listen, Cliff, we both like you and we can't decide who gets to keep you, so we want to share. Are you open to the idea of having 2 girlfriends? Maria asked. My dad laughed and left the room. Was I dreaming? Well, what do you think I answered? Tell me in the comments below.